out a video in quite a few months now. Been pretty busy over the summer, spending a lot of time on the boat, being out on the lake, doing a few projects here and there, gone out to a hunting property and helped a friend of mine. So I've been pretty busy and haven't really had time to sit down and do anything video or photo wise this summer. So why don't you come along with me for a few minutes and I'll show you what I've been up to and give you an update on how things have been with the new truck and how things have been with the tractor. The tractor has really been a lifesaver this year. Being able to switch from having a bucket and the grapple just takes a minute or two, and it's very simple enough that even my son is able to do it for me. So we've been able to handle multiple tasks, even switching back and forth multiple times during the day. Putting the backhoe back on is, I would consider, super easy. It really takes no time at all, and if you've never done it, it's just watching it, you can figure out easily how to do it. I don't have any bent teeth on the grapple itself. My hinges don't appear to have any excess wear, and this thing is getting more use than anything else. Done all kinds of stuff, moving rocks, logs. We moved a log that was about 30 feet long and about 20 inches in diameter one day. Way more than we should have been picking up, but we had to drag it out of an area to cut it up with a chainsaw. It was a lot of work to get it out, and at one point I really thought it was going to end up breaking the teeth on this thing with the way that we had it twisted in there. But as you can see, all those teeth are intact and they're all perfectly straight. Not an issue at all so far. So far I've done my 50-hour service on the machine. I did that about 15 hours of running time ago, right at about 55 hours. It was fairly simple, an easy oil change. The two fuel filters were relatively easy. The one was kind of hard to get to, but once I was able to get underneath there and get up in there with a couple of pairs of pliers, it wasn't too bad. I've got a expanded skid plate on here, but that's very easy to take off, so I wasn't even worried about having to remove that. I changed the hydraulic fluid in the rear end, and that was relatively easy. I made a pretty big mess in the basement, but we keep a bunch of bags of quick dry on hand anyway, so it wasn't really an issue to get cleaned up. But it was fairly easy to change, and I've seen a lot of people post online about having a lot of stuff in their filter on the transmission. Mine had just a couple of specks of stuff, so I don't know if maybe at the next change it'll have more, but for now everything's been really good. I've been using this Titan hitch that I got on Amazon to be able to move my trailers around. It does a good job. It's nice to just be able to pull up and lift up your 3-point and pick up a trailer without having to lower the jack on it or anything to be able to move it around. The only issue I've come across is trying to go up or down a hill with this tractor, with it being so light, trying to pull a heavy trailer. You really need to stay on flat ground because it just does not have the weight to be able to slow a trailer down, and going up a hill it's not really so much that it's a struggle, it's just that the tractor kind of wants to go back down the hill with the trailer, I guess is the issue. But there's not a lot of rubber on the ground and not a lot of weight, so it's better off just using the truck if I've got to traverse any kind of a slope. But so far it's been quite handy to be able to just go out into the backyard and be able to move things around, or if I got to get the boat to one side of the driveway or the other, it's nice. One thing that I would really like to try is pinning up my 3-point arms. I've not tried that yet. I normally just take the whole kit off when I want to put my backhoe on. Maybe this afternoon I will try to spend some time pinning them up to see how it actually works. But I've heard people do it and I've seen a couple of pictures of it, and it sure would save me quite a bit of time. Project-wise, over the last couple of months, my wife actually started digging this ditch for me, because as you can see with the slope of this side driveway that goes down to my basement, my neighbor's yard completely slopes towards my property, and all his water runs across this driveway and makes a mess. So we finally pressure washed the driveway and started digging this ditch to get all this water to run down the driveway so that Doesn't make such a mess anymore. She did really good for her first time on the backhoe. She had never actually gotten on it and used it before. She'd only ever used a loader to move some mulch for me. So when she got on there, I just showed her the directions on how to use the joysticks, and I let her to go to town. And as you can see, she's got a good probably 40 to 50 feet of trench dug out here. She did an excellent job. Another project I did was I came home one evening. I think we had been out to dinner or something like that, and my neighbor was outside with a shovel trying to dig up a bunch of bushes, like 12, 15 bushes in his front yard. So I went over there feeling bad for him because it was very hot out, and I said, hey, would you like me to come over with my backhoe and dig those out for you real quick? It'd just take a minute and I can even dump them in your backyard. He stood there and kind of stared at me for a second, but I knew he wasn't going to say no. So we went and got the backhoe. My son and I went over there, tore those bushes out. It was like a one scoop for every single bush. There wasn't a single one that we had to fight with. But we got it taken care of. Probably should have shot some video during that, but didn't really think about it until after the fact. But it was a cool little project and got done quick. We scooped everything up, clamped it into the grapple there, and hauled it off into his backyard. I've been using a Landpride 48-inch rotary mower to take care of this back property out here. As you can see, it's got quite a slope that's back here. I mean, even the boat trailer is tilted to one side where it's sitting. We only put it out there the other day because I didn't want it sitting underneath the trees with the possibility of the hurricane coming. I just didn't want anything to fall on it. Normally it sits in the driveway, so it doesn't get anything splashed up on it or nothing like that. But you can see it's quite some terrain to traverse out here. Sometimes I can run in two-wheel drive, but a lot of times I got to be in four-wheel drive to take care of most of this. I'll bring you down the hill and show you how bad some of it gets. This Landpride rotary mower has been excellent to use. I'm not really using it to beat anything up. Very small saplings, you know, mostly just like the tall stuff that you see behind us, grasses and things. It does have one dent in the deck. If you look just behind the transmission section where that little plate is supposed to go, where the little rubber grommet, it's missing and the deck is dented up there. I'm not quite sure what hit it. It may have been a rock or a log or something that I came across, but overall this thing's been excellent. It makes a really good cut if you set it up well and you keep the blade sharp. You can see the grass out here gets cut very fine. Lately I've been leaving the backhoe out here. It's been in the rain, but it doesn't show any significant signs of rust, not over the last couple of months. It dries off pretty quickly because it sits out here in the sun most of the day. And it's sitting up on a block so that the bottom of the chassis isn't sitting in the dirt. The only thing really touching the dirt is the outrigger pads and the backhoe bucket, but so far everything's looking good. It's mainly only been because I've had to be putting the rotary mower on the back and I don't want to have to keep taking the backhoe off to do it, so I've just kind of left it out here most of the time unless I need to use it for something. You can see how much of a slope there is out here. And it takes quite a bit of time to be able to mow all of this, just because you gotta drive around and around to be able to get on each little slope back and forth. And of course you can't go across this hill sideways, it's all up and down. So it's a lot of turning around to get all of this done, but it's not a big deal. wanted to see how to do this, but So I've heard people say that you pin these things up. I don't really understand what that is. But basically, to get these out of my way, I'm gonna go put the backhoe on and see if this works. But I just pushed my 3-point arms up and left my turnbuckles on here. Just took electrical wire as a twist tie and stuck it through the hole to hold these up here. My big thing is I still need to be able to get this hydraulic line to be able to hook my backhoe up for the power. And hopefully the backhoe frame will fit in here. These should go behind the backhoe, but we'll go put it on and see if it works. That one went on very easy. you how easy this thing hooks up. This thing's been sitting on a hill. I'm still able to pull up to it and put it on without any considerable issues. Took a minute, nothing considerably hard. So there you have it. A couple of small things that I've been up to and what I've been doing with the tractor and where things are at. It's been a great addition. We did have to upgrade truck. Not necessarily had to, but the extra power of having a 3500 and the extra towing capacity was definitely something that was in our future anyway, and it still is for what's in our future now. Of course, with looking for a bigger boat and shopping for a camper, you can always use the extra towing capacity, but it really made a difference being able to tow all three of our mowers at the same time, and towing the boat to the lake is a dream now. So while it's nothing special, it's just a regular old Ram 3500, we've not done anything to it except put a nicer looking set of wheels and tires on it, which, by the way, tires are great. Nitto Ridge grapplers. They told me they would be great on the highway. They are. They're a little bit loud, but nothing that would drive you crazy. We do have a big trip coming up in a couple of weeks that I plan on driving this a good couple thousand miles. The old wheels and tires will be going on just so I can preserve these. They're really just to make it look good while I'm driving around town. Nothing special. But it's been a great addition, and with 12,000 miles on it so far, I can't really tell you if it's going to have any problems or not. Of course, you read about it online, but right now, I'm not having any problems with it. The oil change was very easy. The fuel filter changes were very easy. It was a lot easier than changing that stuff than it was on the tractor, and that was an easy project. So, I'll let you all go now. Thanks for joining me. The wind is starting to pick up, so filming's not going to come out as well now. But I hope you all enjoyed this few minutes with me, and look forward to hopefully seeing a few more videos, because we got to get some things processed that we have shot, and we've got a couple of really big trips coming up soon in the next few weeks. Thanks a lot.